Can you hear me? Just like say hello or just say hi in the chat. But I think I prefer to hear your voices. So I can see Bola, Esther, my view, Shadrach, Gaius, Joseph, Sarah, Miracle, Daniel, Fondon. I'm seeing somewhere there's iPhone. Please come and dash my iPhone. But yeah, please, if you can hear me, just indicate.
Hello, I can hear you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. It's lovely hearing from you as well. How are you doing today?
Very fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you. I'm alive. Thank you very much for asking. Okay, so you're all welcome to today's session of the scholarship hack. I will just quickly do well to share my screen and then we can move on from there. So please give me a minute. All right, then I think we are good to go. So let me know if you can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, just help me out here. We're in this together. Don't abandon me. Can anyone see my screen, please?
I can see your screen.
Oh, thank you. You just saved my life. All right. Thank you very much. You're all welcome to today's session of the Scholarship Hack 20.0. My name is Uzim Emmanuel, and I will be anchoring the session. It's a pleasure having each and every one of you, especially our guests who have made it an ample opportunity to be here to listen to our special guests, especially our panelists that have wanted to need tidbit of information to share with us based on the PTDF Scholarship. So yes, we're basically going to be talking around the Petroleum Trust Development Fund, which basically sponsors amazing talents to go study in the Western world and thereabout gets reasonable knowledge that can be applied to practicable solutions or problems within the African development market. So we have two of our wonderful guests that are possibly here with us this evening. They've made out time from their busy schedule just to make sure that, yes, whatever value they've been able to gain throughout the whole process, they are able to also replicate it and also share with us based on how much we want a shared growth for each and every one of us. So we have with us Esther Nwankwo and also Shadrach Ibhafidon. So basically, I'm going to be reading their profiles and you can also join me as well. But let's get to meet this interesting guest of honors. So the first person is Esther. Esther currently holds a bachelor's degree in accountancy as the best graduating student of the Faculty of Business in 2019 with a CGPA of 4.63 out of 5.0 from the President University of Nigeria, Nsukka. She successfully applied and won the PTDF Scholarship, where she's currently pursuing her master's in accounting and finance in the University of Strathclyde, UK. She worked as an audit intern at Balogun Badejo Consulting Limited in 2016, a finance intern at Walter Smith Petroleum Oil Limited in 2020 and 2021, also an equity and fixed income research analyst at FCSL Asset Management Limited since 2021, and now currently working as a global market analyst in Rand Merchant Bank. She holds a license in Chartered Financial Analyst Level 1 from the CFA Institute since 2022, a fellow of the McKinsey Forward Program Foundation, which happened in 2021, also has an advanced Excel financial modeling and business valuation from the Institute of Investment Bankers in 2020. And most importantly, she's an associate chartered accountant from ICANN in 2018, with an associate accounting technician in also ICANN in 2016. So please join me as I welcome Esther to this session. I think I've seen Esther here. Now, the next person I'll be reading is Fidon. Fidon is my role model, so please, let's get to meet Fidon. So, Shadrach holds a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Chemistry from the University of Benin in 2016, On successful application to the PTDF Scholarship, he pursued a master's degree at the University of Ibhafidon in 2019. He worked as an environmental and analytical chemist at Earthquake International Limited from 2016 to 2017, and is a graduate research assistant at Babcock University from 2017 to 2018. And currently, he's a research and development scientist at Reckitt since 2021. So, Shadrach, please, if you're with us, it's a pleasure having you. Thank you for joining in as well. So basically, we are just going to be talking around your experience applying to the PTDF Scholarship. We know this is a highly sought after scholarship in essence, and as such, we want to be part and parcel of the blessing. But as much as possible, while you're talking around how you got it, maybe like share one or two secrets that will make us stand out from other applicants and what will make us claim the scholarship. So yes, in that note, maybe it would be good to first of all start to know how your day is going. So Esther, please, how is your day going? Maybe just us a little, what's it like living in the UK, Strathclyde for that matter?
Hi everyone, good evening and nice. Like I feel so honored being invited for this program actually. My day has been awesome. I've been enjoying the code. It's really very good. So
imagine.
It's been fun actually. It's been fun. It's what for the stress. Yeah.
All right, cool. And Shadrach, how far? How is everything going where you are as well? Can you hear me? I think Shadrach should be here. I saw him earlier on.
Yeah, hi.
All right, hi.
Hi, Uzim. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Hello?
I can hear you, Shadrach.
Hello?
We can hear you. If you can see my thumb, I can hear you.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. All right. So I think I will just be going straight into it. So I'll just be asking one or two questions. The session.
Can anyone hear me, please?
Oh, okay. I think we need to help Shadrach here. Esther, please pardon me. Everyone here, please just pardon me. Let's try to get Shadrach with us. Shadrach, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Let me reach out Shadrach. We can hear you. Okay, I think while we wait for Shadrach to join us, we're basically just going to talk around the scholarship. So I think Esther, you'd probably anchor it for now, and then Shadrach will join in to share more insight. So the first thing would be...
Uzim, can you hear me now, please?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
I'm so sorry. I had a little glitch there. Good. How you all doing?
We're doing great. Thank you. Thank you for joining us as well. So yeah, like I was earlier saying, we will just have like a question and answer session with you two and basically just have you share your insights around the scholarship, your experience, and then perhaps just crown it with like what your special advice would be to anyone who is actually applying for the scholarship, being a highly sought after scholarship. I know you're a recipient of it from 2019, and the Esther is currently from the 2022 cohort. So it's good that we're having this diverse experience, and then hammering on this diversity, we can be able to like see how we can channel in for the next application. So I think my first question would be PTDF. When someone hears PTDF, the first thing that comes to mind is oil and gas. So please, for someone who is applying to PTDF, what are the selected programs that the scholarship covers? Must it be something within the oil and gas space? So maybe Esther, you can go first.
Okay. Yeah, so the scholarship covers all areas of discipline.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
That's why you can connect it to oil and gas.
Oh, I see. Okay. So what if, I'm trying to imagine. Okay, so Shadrach, maybe talk to us from your own experience. What exactly did you apply for? Then how did you like relay it to oil and gas? Because I know you did something quite unique. Esther's one is finance, so it's definitely we can understand. But let me get your own part, Shadrach. Okay. Hi, Shadrach, can you hear me? Hello, Shadrach. Okay, I think he will join us later. We've lost him. So yes, so maybe can you probably expatiate how you feel connecting it to oil and gas, man. So yes, it's good a thing you've mentioned that it's available to all courses. So maybe I know you have other colleagues who have applied to different courses. Maybe give us an example or a case study of someone and how they did it, or maybe from your own perspective, please.
Okay, so I have a colleague here. He studied chemical engineering in his undergraduate.
Okay.
So, and then when he applied for the scholarship, he said he wanted to study artificial intelligence.
Oh,
and
wow.
That is what he's currently studying. So you can study anything. So far, you can prove to them that this course will have this impact in oil and gas in the long run. So they are okay with anything.
Okay. So, but for you, how did you do it? What was your own story?
Okay, yeah. So mine, when I was applying, I didn't. So when you're applying for the scholarship, you will see most of the courses you'll be seeing are courses related to oil and gas. So myself, now I'm an accounting student, so I saw oil and gas accounting.
Okay.
Finance, energy finance, economic energy, so everything relating to energy. So when I applied, I applied for energy finance. So yeah, so that was actually what I wanted to do, energy finance. But when I got the scholarship, I changed. Just purely finance. So I keep telling people, it's not what you apply. Like, if you can defend what you're applying for during the interview, and when you get the scholarship, you can then choose any course of your choice.
Oh, wow. So you have the liberty to switch.
Yeah, you can switch your school, you can switch your course.
Okay, that's interesting.
You have the scholarship.
Guys, Esther has given us one secret too. Just get the scholarship. You can switch to anything. You can go and study medicine and surgery. If you finish with an English background. Anyway, all right. Thank you. I can see Joseph's hand up. Joseph, I don't know if you probably let's just get a little bit in there, but let's maybe if you have a question, maybe you can just go ahead and ask. Okay, let me allow you. Joseph, go ahead and ask your question, and then maybe Esther can just hit on it.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, thank you for this platform. I thank you and appreciate. I want to ask this question. What during the application process, what actually made you stand out? Because I know during your time there were several applications, thousands of applications. So what actually made you stand out?
Okay, so let me start from when I was submitting the documents. So the act is that make sure that everything they ask you to submit, you have it. You get, so make sure all your documents are complete. Because if your documents are not complete, you will not even be shortlisted for the interview. So most of my friends that were not shortlisted for the interview, their documents were not complete or they didn't meet the criteria, the general criteria. And then, so when you are shortlisted for the interview, you prepare like you're going to meet CEOs and give it your best. So my app was that I worked in an oil and gas. I interned there. So I consulted my previous boss that, please, I'm applying for this scholarship. I need some insights as to how I'm going to answer finance-related questions to oil and gas. And when I also, during the interview, I was also working as in an investment firm. So I understand the oil and gas capital markets to an extent. So I used that as a leverage with what I asked my bosses. I consulted a lot of people. They gave me inside, they give me what they might likely ask me. So during the interview, I was able to buttress my points, both I think at the last. So you just identify a problem in the oil and gas that you think your course will help you solve. So when you can demonstrate this, tell them about it, you're good to go. You'll be so happy.
All right, thank you so much, Esther. And thank you, Joseph, for that question. So Shadrach, can you hear me, please? I know I can see you on the call. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, glad to have you back. We're just talking about applying and what the course entails, so the oil and gas. So someone raised the question around what makes you stand out. So I think my next question will be like, the website clearly states that one needs to be among the top applicants to be considered from each category, and that's from each state. So what are the categories that have been considered, and does this also apply to the federal character principle experience?
Okay, well, first of all, to the audience, right? People that win scholarships, they are not super smart. They are human beings, okay? They just follow rules. They just follow the principles that govern the scholarship bodies. You know, for the Commonwealth guys, you have to follow the rules and all. So I think that's just to clear the air on that. And then to further answer the question, I don't know if you saw the list of awardees from 2018-2019 session. There were about 546 MSc awarded students. And if you check through the list, it cuts across the 6 geopolitical zones. So, you know, I think it's a largely benevolent body, and they try to capture the 6 geopolitical zones when they offer the scholarships. So I'm not really sure there is a catchment area, quotes and unquotes. I'm not sure about that, because if you check through the list, it covered the 6 geopolitical zones, like I mentioned earlier. And from my state and from those states, you're about 15 that have won the scholarship.
Okay. Oh, that's lovely. All right, thank you. So guys, you've heard it. It's quite is evenly spread across each political zone. I think for you, just be who you are, state out what makes you unique. Like you said, it's not like everyone there is smart, but I think it's just more or less how you tell your story that matters. So the next question, which perhaps resonates with Gaius Ilias' question, is with regards to the criteria stated that someone with a 2-1 or 2-2 can actually apply. But then it went on to state that applicants with academic merit would be considered. So what does this imply? For Gaius, it's more like, has anyone with a 2-1 gotten the scholarship from your knowledge? And also, he has only seen first-class candidates. So please, can you help us just delineate this particular challenge?
So is this to me or to Esther?
Anyone who wants to jump first, two of you should decide.
Well, okay. First of all, I'm not a first-class student.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, I'm not a first-class student. It's just that I got a 4.26 on a scale of 5. So it was what you would call a sharp 2. So I'm a sharp 2-1 student.
Yeah, sharp 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I still claim the scholarship. But I know PTDF is a point-based scholarship system. When I mean point-based, so you know, if you have a first class, you're already at the winning edge already over a 2-1 student. If you're in your O level, you have maybe you offered eight courses, and then you had 6 distinctions and 2 credits. And for someone that just had all credits, you are also having more points ahead than the person. So I think all these are factors. If you have publications before your interview, those are pointers that could really upscale you to clinching the award. So yeah.
All right. That's lovely. Thank you so much. I don't know, Esther, do you have any other thing to add? Maybe to bolster our confidence?
So I have some people here without first class.
Okay. Wow. All
so
right.
It's 2-1 with solid professional experience or something.
All right, thank you. So, Gaius, Ilya, your question has been answered. I can imagine how calm and well coordinated now you are to apply to the scholarship. So, for everyone who is having that consideration, please don't feel in any way challenge about your results, give it your best shot. I can see two hands up. I'll go with the first, Grace, and then Chima will follow afterwards. So Grace, please go ahead. The floor is yours. Hi, Grace. Can you unmute and just speak if you're still there? All right, okay. So Grace has given the floor to Chima. Chima, it's your turn. Do you have any question for our guests?
Oh. All right. Good evening. Good evening, Esther.
Good evening.
Good evening, Sir Shadrach. I want to ask about 3 questions. First is how many number of applicants are awarded the scholarship from each state? I don't know if you have a number for that. And then secondly, let's take, for example, I am from a particular state, maybe Imo State, and then I reside in another state, Bauchi State, but I did my school in a state that is not mine. When applying for this scholarship, should I put Bauchi State where I did my undergraduate, or should I still refer to Imo State? That is the second question. The third question, talking about a point-based, wow. Like for master's applicants, I don't know, publications, if you have publication as a master applicant, is that going to give you a point, or is this just for PhD applicants? These are the few questions I have now. Thank you very much.
Okay, Esther, I don't know if you got the 3 questions. If you want him to go ahead and repeat.
Yeah, so I got his first question about is it state of origin or
how many people get per state get the award?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Okay, I think, I'm sorry to jump in, Esther. I think I already gave a hint to this. Whoever asked the question. So I don't know if we already clarified that this PTDF scholarship is in 2 legs, OSS and LSS. The overseas scholarship scheme and then the local scholarship scheme. I won the LSS, although I was interviewed for the OSS. I was shortlisted for the OSS interview, but I could not scale through to clinching that one. But then the experience from that one made me clinch the LSS one. So I don't know if this person's question is directed to LSS or OSS, but for the LSS one that I won, I can tell you that if you are from Bauchi State, they consider it based on state of origin, not necessarily if you're from Edo State and you're schooling in, let's say Bauchi, right? It's your state of origin. Like I told us earlier, the list of awardees for my session, there were 15 from Edo State. That's the state of origin, but I schooled in Uniben. That is my first degree, and I was applying. I already got admission for University of Ibadan my master's. So it was not Ibadan that was showing there, it was Edo State. But then the school where I had my master's was University of Ibadan reflected there.
All right, thank you. And to the third question, if I'm correct, which rallies around the points base, does a publication matter to a master's candidate?
Maybe.
No, I don't think so. I don't have a publication. My friend here does not have a publication. Okay. A lot of us does not have a publications at all. No.
All right. Thank you. Just Shadrach, you wanted to say something as well.
Yes. So for the masters, you don't really need publication for it. It is for the PhD that publication is considered. But actually, if you have a publication before you go for the interview, it's a pointer, because when I was interviewed during the OSS interview, the overseas scholarship one, I had one publication in view, but it was not out yet. And the man was like, "Do you have it?" The interviewer asked me if I had any publication, and I said it's still in process. And then, he said, he just said that if I had it, would have also helped. He said, well, okay, that's how he just responded to me. Mm-hmm. So if you have a publication, it would upscale you. But if you don't, it's not really compulsory for master's applicants, but I think it's really mandatory for a PhD one.
Okay, it's really beautiful getting both perspective of both of his application, and I'm sure this is really helpful for everyone who's applying. Yes, maybe a publication is not rudimentary, but it's also an added advantage.
Yes,
so please, if you
yes.
have an application, do well to add it to your submission. But if you don't have a publication, you know you have to put more energy on other places so that you can be able to have a good point-based assessment. So I think I will now move on to Grace. Grace's hand has come up again. Grace, do something graceful by unmuting your mic and speaking to us.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Grace.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good evening. Esther, good evening.
Good evening, Grace.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm really, really excited talking, more especially Esther. She was once my roommate, and I told her I was going to join because I love her spirit. Trust me. Back then, that was just last year, and she was doing all this. I was just watching her like, this girl, this is your spirit. And the day I saw her notice that she has done it, I was so excited. And I was like, I'll really take an example from you, and I'm going to push. I'll take things seriously because I'm the kind of person, if I start, I get discouraged, I'll just stop. I don't push further. So, and now my question is, I've seen the link and I've seen the process of applying, but most time people start those processes. They don't tell us that there are a financial aspect of it. Probably when the time comes, you now see an issue of, you have to pay for so form, you have to pay, they will call it a scholarship. So you wouldn't know if it's a full scholarship or a part scholarship. And they'll tell you pay half of the school fees, which is up to $5,000. And then you're hooked up because, I don't have such money. I didn't prepare for such. Nobody told me about all those aspects. So Esther, I'd like you to carry me through the financial aspect of it, how we're going to get prepared. Get your passport is a basic. And then what other things you think you get when you get to the school? Definitely they might ask you, okay, you have to pay this before coming in, or want to see a form of conviction that this is your account where the money will always come in for your school fees and housing and all that. So I want to know more. So I'll prepare. Not when I get there and I get stranded. No money in my pockets. So
I like the spirit. You're already speaking like someone that's gotten the scholarship already.
No, I've gotten it too.
Okay, so Esther, just be quick about it. I think basically, is it fully funded or partly funded? And then any other
I agree. So thanks for coming. So it's actually fully funded, like fully funded. So the only thing I had to pay was my trip to Abuja to my visa appointment.
Okay.
So coming here, although your traveling expenses, like they'll pay for your flights and everything, your accommodation, they'll pay based on your stipend. So you just take little money with you to feed with, spend when they pay your stipends, because they'll still pay you for staying here for the stipends. So you're not paying anything at all, no school fees, nothing. You're free.
Okay, that's nice. What about is there anything like an IELTS exam needed for this?
No, it depends on the school. So some schools will ask you to provide IELTS, and then some schools does not. So my school asked me, and I told them I am from an English-speaking country. I have WAEC, and they collected WAEC. So.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having your question chat box that we need to respond to. But Miracle, just go ahead. Chima, if you still think your hands are up, if you don't have any questions, maybe you could just put them down. Same with Grace. Hey, Miracle, thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. So I just want to ask a question. For someone whose academic performance was not so impressive, what are the competitive ways such candidates could, bolster his or her application, to be competitive with other applicants? Like, can you leverage on your work experience? Just like I think Chevron lay more emphasis on, work experience as it relates to what you're applying to than your academic performance. I actually stand to be corrected, and maybe Commonwealth might, just focus more on your academic performance than your work experience. So I just need more clarity in terms of the PTDF. So what exactly can one, let's say somebody who is not really a sharp 2-1 candidate, or someone who probably does not have all the publications and all that, how exactly can you, improve on your application to be competitive amongst other applicants? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miracle. So I think I like the way everyone is becoming very strategic on this session. So I will allow both panelists to answer. I don't know who would like to go first.
Uzim, I think maybe you call the Esther or Shadrach, because
right, okay. I wanted you guys to have like a synergy amongst yourself. All right. Since you've already called yourself out. Oh, yeah, Shadrach, let's do this.
Well,
yeah.
If you don't have a strong academic record, let's say you have a 2-2, there are ways to go around these things, right? So you would want to, if you maybe have a connection with an academic, you can also try to get 1 or 2 publications or more. And then if you also have a good work experience in line with your field, like the questionnaire asked, it's also very another pointer to it too. And also people tend to forget if your O level is strong, because I think I stand to be corrected. Esther, maybe you can correct me. I think PTDF, they count, if you have a B2, B3, I think it's all in the class of distinctions.
Yeah.
So yeah. So in my own case, I had 5 Bs and 1 A. That's, I had 6 distinctions. The lowest credit I had in my WAEC was C4, and that was for 2 subjects. I had 8, so I had 6 distinctions and 2 credits. So if your university degree, you have a 2-2, but your O level is strong, your university level is a 2-2 kind of low, you can now add some work experience in line with your pursuits. And then if you have a good work experience, and then you can add maybe 1 or 2 publications, and then your SOP is also very tight. I think you can, and if you can speak well in your interview, defending your SOP and trying to tailor it into, because PTDF's core value is how to really tie in your research or whatever you want to study into how you can better develop the oil and gas sector. So if you can bridge these things together, you would really clinch the scholarship. You should.
All right, thank you. Esther?
Yeah, I think Shadrach has said it all, because he has said it all. So it's not about your BSc degree alone. That's just one of the criteria they assess. So they assess other things. They assess your voluntary, if you had volunteer and you have the certificate of volunteer, the certificate, if you have any awards so far, maybe community awards, maybe your chairman, your community, your NYC awards, people brought all these and they graded all these things. So there are other things that can make you stand out while your BSc might not, but everything is collated, is not independently reviewed. So you might be lucky, and those other things can give you a strong point.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'll quickly move on to some of the questions we have on the chat box, and then we'll take on more hands that are already raised. So there's a question around providing a letter from your university or perhaps your VC. So does this entail that you need to indicate that your school has to indicate that you don't have scholarship? What exactly does that, what does it mean? What does it imply to get a letter from your institution? Maybe Esther, you can go.
I don't understand the question. Is that a requirement?
So I think some schools will require, or the scholarship wants to know if you have another scholarship from another body. Whether so, were you requested to provide the letters certifying that no, you don't have any other scholarship to depend on?
Not at all.
Okay, all right, that's good. All right, then so go ahead, Shadrach.
Yeah, sorry, I think that later thing also comes from if the applicant is a lecturer, let's say a GA, graduate assistant, or you're already infused into the academic system, right? You may need a letter from your vice chancellor to show that you are not currently under any scholarship. But for just normal applicants, I don't think it's really required.
All right, thank you. So please, for those of us in the academic line, graduate assistants, people who are going for maybe like PhD, have that in mind. Esther did not require one, so yeah, at least that gives us, some people like us, hope. Okay, so next question. For Esther, for the OSS, what should one consider before choosing university, especially when it cuts across the 4 countries? So Malaysia, France, Germany, and UK. What should one put into consideration?
Okay, so it's individual based. Some people said, oh, they love to go to France, they love France, or the course itself. So some countries might have your course, why some does not. For me, I chose UK because I'm tired of struggling with language barriers or language difference. So I don't want, and it's a 1-year program, and what I wanted to study is there. So I said, no, I don't want to deal with language barrier and other stuff. So I chose UK. While I have some people that chose Germany because they have this particular engineering course that only Germany universities are offering.
Okay.
So it depends on what you want. But mind you, when you are applying and you chose Germany and you got the scholarship, you cannot change to UK. So you should be very much aware of what you're doing.
So you can change courses, but you can't change
your school, you can change your course, can't change country.
That is serious. You have broken our hearts. All right. Okay. So the next question: does one need to be a member of a professional body, especially for the master's scholarship? Because I know I was mentioning a lot of professionals. It's your turn. I'll put you on the spot. Is there a need to be part of a professional body? And maybe just give us some experience. And then Shadrach, you can talk around it as well for the LSS.
Okay. I don't think so. It's just that if you are part of a professional body, it's also an added point. I have my friend studying artificial intelligence here from chemistry. It does not belong to any professional body. So he has a scholarship. So both some people have, like I have a professional qualification, and I just mentioned it to them that I'm a member of this body.
Okay.
And then, so I don't think it's just part of the criteria, the grading criteria, yes.
Yeah, Shadrach, was it the same for your own case for the LSS?
Yeah, but you don't really need to be part. It's the same thing here. You don't need to. If you do have, I mean, it's another advantage, of course, but if you don't,
All right, thank you very much. So please, you don't need to have a professional certification of being part of a professional body, but if you do, it's an added advantage. You can also take cue from it by trying to apply. I think there are some international professional body you could apply that is free of charge. You don't need to pay anything. You could also look for those local within Nigeria to apply. It's a good thing if you have this within your portfolio, but for the application, it's not so much necessary, but we need that added advantage. Someone is asking, does 2009 WAEC results stand out as valid when applying, especially for the English? So I think, Esther, you're the one that put yourself in this space, so we'll solve it.
So some schools will give you the time duration. So I think it's 10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
Shadrach, I don't know if I'm correct, but it's 10 years for me. My school told me it should not be older than 10 years. Okay. So, and in replacements to that, if your WAEC is more than 10 years, so you can tell your school to give you this test of English language proficiency. So it's just like 5,000 naira. Some schools even give it for free. So that can also fly.
All right, thank you. I'll move on to Joseph, who is online. His hands are raised up. So Joseph, please, can you quickly just share your question? Please, very quick.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Esther and Shadrach. I really appreciate it. I want you both to please share with us the content of your SOP.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, Joseph, I think we're going to go. That will be like one of the final tidbits we're going to work on. So, thank you for highlighting it. Please, I want to take this opportunity to beg, plead. I haven't been knighted by the king yet. So, please, let's just stick with Uzim. I really appreciate it. So, thank you so much, Joseph. Abba Best, can you go ahead?
Good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I joined not too long, but I have 4 questions. Yeah, I studied economics. So I was having a chat with a friend. So I don't know how that relates to the oil and gas and how my proposed course of study along that lines can relate to the scholarship. Also, talking about the letter from your local government. Is it the same as state of origin certificate? Certificate of origin from our certificate. And also, talking about professional experience, I noticed that from the guidelines, they have to have about 2 years of professional experience. I don't know, like the professional experience they're talking about, is it in terms of the quality? Because sometimes the experience may not be that professional. Maybe for some of us, just our NYC experience and maybe a little experience from teaching work here and there. So I want to know. And also my final question, talking about, I know the scholarship is for a 1-year duration. Must you return after your studies? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. That was a lot of questions. Esther, please, I'm sorry, but forgive me. Can you just help us touch some of them?
Okay. The first question, please, can you remind me? It said
he studied economics. He studied economics, and how does it tally with scholarship?
It tallies greatly with it, like extremely, because if I can merge accounting to oil and gas, so there's this course when you're applying for the scholarship, I guess economic development is, and that course, I chose one of those economics related courses, and it's being offered by Ibhafidon. So it's relating to finance and economic energy. So you can pick that and go online, Google the relationship and the links. So you can go online, you Google it, even the course contents, they will break it down, what it entails. So you have idea of what you say during your interview and how you coin your SOP. Then your second question.
Yeah, please remind us your second question.
The letter from your local government, is the same as yours?
Yes, it is. That flies, yes.
Third question.
Talking about professional experience, in terms of the quality, does it have to be something that is qualitative enough? Maybe for some of us, just an NYC experience and maybe teaching experience you got from a school like that. I don't know if you understand my question.
I understand now. Okay. When I applied, I was just 1 year professional. Like I just have 1 year professional experience. So, but during the interview, they asked if I had worked in similar field. And then I told them, yeah, during my NYSC, I interned with this, and I'm currently working here. So I don't know if that was enough, but I mentioned my NYSC experience as well as my current job. So I just think most times is how you perform during the interview, because they don't collect your employment letter to check how long you've been working or anything from your work. So just how you present yourself and how you can explain your experience so far.
Okay. Thank you so much, Esther. I don't know if there's any last question from him.
Sorry, the last one, they didn't answer the last one. About returning, is it compulsory?
No. Yes, it is compulsory. But if you get a job or something else doing here, you can provide a proof to them that, oh, you got a job here, so they will allow you stay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. You heard it from how. So please Take notes. All right, so the next one would have to be around the interview, which of course I know Shadrach is very much happy to jump on. So Shadrach, could you just give us some insights around what the interview entails? What kind of questions are being asked? How do you put yourself forward to be a great applicant when it comes to the interview? So just give us your experience. Then maybe Esther can touch on it from the OSS line.
Okay. Although, like I mentioned earlier, thank you. I had 2 interviews. I've had the OSS interview and the LSS interview. So I think one thing that is key in the interview is that you should be confident. You know, there is something about confidence that I'm sorry to say, but you might be talking rubbish, quote unquote. But the way you present it, the way you package yourself, sometimes can get the interviewer startled, because it seems like you know what you're talking about, So when I had the OSS interview, I was really shaky. Like, I was like, oh God, this has to be it. So even though I knew what I wanted to say, there were like, I think four persons seated in the panel. 4 panelists. So I was already off my feet. So I couldn't really coordinate my tenses. I was largely not coherent, even if I knew what I wanted to talk about, because that was like my first interview. But then when I went in for the LSS, thankfully the OSS came, then LSS. So I got in with some confidence. So confidence is key. Another thing too is being able to talk around why you are going for, what you're going for. Like your course, being able to link your course to the benefits that it will give with respect to PTDF's mandates, that is to enhance the oil and gas industry. So I was able to, one thing that I think really made me stand out was that I even talked outside of my SOP. So when I walked into the room and I was offered a seat and I sat down, and then they asked me to share my, that's one of the first things they will ask you to share your documents, what you have submitted when you are applying online, to submit the hard copies so that they can see and check the original copies. And then, so after that, while I was doing that, the main interviewer to ask those questions was looking through my SOP, my application, and then reading through my SOP. So, because of course, you know that we are in queues waiting. So they will have to refresh, the interviewers will have to refresh themselves with, once the applicant comes in, they use that time, they buy that time when you are submitting your documents, and they are cross-checking, they use that time to refresh themselves, looking at the applicants that is seated before them for the interview. So when he was done, I observed that. So when he was done, he started asking me the questions, bothering why I was going for, what if I have any research idea, that I think is going to be relevant to the oil and gas industry. I just picked up one and I started talking around it. Please, applicants, try to envisage some of these questions because it will help you mentally prepare before you enter the room. In fact, I had this in mind. I asked some scholars ahead of me. I said, what do you think that they're going to ask? He said it's going to be around your SOP, and one key thing is about the relevancy to the oil and gas industry. So you can just pick up anything, any research. If you are somebody that reads, you can just read through papers, and it may not even be your own idea. Just pick something take an idea and talk it like it's your own idea. The goal is to be able to convince them that what you are going for is relevant to the oil and gas industry. So it does not have to be your own. You don't have to sit somewhere and start cocooning ideas. Just read papers. You can even Google it. Ideas relevant to the oil and gas industry. Maybe if I am an economics student, from the economist POV, from the chemist POV, from the physics POV, thank God for Google. So you can just get that and go into that hall and talk like you are the one that owned that idea. So once you are able to deliver like that, it's one thing that also helped me. I was talking based on a publication I had read relevant to the oil and gas industry. And when I was done, the man started checking the roots of my presentation. What I mean the root of my presentation was that he now went down to the basics of my course. I studied chemistry, and I was speaking from that point. So he started asking me some core chemistry questions. And thankfully enough, I've been teaching before I even went for the interview. I've been having jam tutorials for students, science students. So I was very familiar with some of those basic chemistry questions relating to, because when I was talking about the research idea, there was some core chemistry information I was releasing. So I wanted to check the bedrock of my course. So and I was giving it to him. So at some point, they were all impressed. And when I left that room, I knew I was going to clinch the scholarship when I was leaving.
They did not have an option now. Yeah, Esther, I don't know if you have anything to add to it, and then we can take the questions we have before we talk around the SOP. So for you, from the OSS standpoint.
Yes, so just like Shadrach mentioned, confidence, like you have to buy it, like from the way you walk in, your head high, like as if you own the place, they will even be scared of you. So
not
that's top notch. And also speak from your heart. Don't speak like you crammed this thing. So before the interview, ask knowledgeable people about what you are going to read. And mine, they didn't even pick any questions from my SOP at all. The man was just, tell me why you're choosing what you choose. And then I started. I was saying it, and it was like, wow, where did you learn all this? I said, oh, my previous firm told me. And I also read the news. I was like, oh, your firm? I said, where do you work? I told him. And I was like, would they allow you go? I said, they are very free. And I guess because I told them that my firm is in full support of me going, and how much I've learned so much from them. So that was like, wow, that was such a huge amount of knowledge we didn't know about. So just look for a loophole in your course, like what you think is lacking in Nigeria oil and gas, and you think in a developed country, it's working over there. So if you can get a loophole, just a problem, and elaborate on it, you've brought them over. That's just, and then grace of God as well. Grace, like you need to pray for grace. It's very important.
God factor. Yeah, you guys are really motivating me now. Like I should just apply for this scholarship. Let me be contented with what I have for now. All right, but yeah, thank you so much. For everyone listening, I'm glad you're having a good time. I hope you're getting all the necessary knowledge you need with regards to the PTDF. For those who joined late, you're not left behind. We're also going to be having this session recorded and shared on our YouTube page. So please follow the YouTube channel. It's been shared on the group chat already. Follow the YouTube channel for more updates and also to get more videos around scholarships that are readily available. We also have our social media platforms on LinkedIn, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So please, we are not leaving anyone behind. We are going together. Do well to follow, and this will really be very much impactful to your application. And even hopefully someday, I'm sure we'll be able to host each and every one of you here to talk about your own scholarships that you won. I'm going to take up the questions for those hands that are raised up. Abba Best, I don't know if you have a question. I know you've spoken already. Your hands are up. Let me allow, I don't know. Do you have a question, Abba Best? Or do I move on to Chisom? If you've asked the question and your hands are up, please, you can just take them down if you don't have any question. Okay, Chisom, can you go ahead if you have a question? Thank you, Abba Best. Chisom, kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Chisom. Your voice is very faint. Can you try to speak up?
Okay, my question, somebody has actually asked it in the chat, was asking if this scholarship, if there are some certain selective courses that you're using, that maybe the scholarship requires some kind of courses, not all. I'm just asking before end though. I don't know if this is only for graduates or let me say people that have graduated or those that want to go forward for their postgraduate courses, because right now I'm still in school, but I just joined in to get more idea on the scholarship.
Thank you so much. So, in fact, at this point, you're my role model. The fact that you're already thinking ahead, thinking of the future, that's beautiful. So please, Esther, just straight to the point. I know you've talked around the courses. Maybe talk around NYC. Do you need to have completed your NYC to apply, or is it not necessary? Just very briefly.
Yes, without it, you'll be disqualified. Your NYC is very important. And it's for postgraduates, the OSS for masters and PhD. Courses, I don't think you really have, when you're applying, you are limited to oil and gas courses or some other environmental related and health courses. Or when you get the scholarship, you can decide to choose your course.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Esther. So Chisom, it doesn't really matter if you have your course, but if you can tailor your course to have an impact on the oil and gas space, then that would be great. Thank you so much. Shima, please, your question very briefly, and then we'll use the next few minutes to talk around the SOP.
All right, thank you. I want to ask again, the period of this application, is it constant around the year? Like I saw is around March that the deadline for this year. I don't know if it's next year. Next year is still going to be by March. That is one. Two, how is this scholarship? Like, what is the advantage of the scholarship over other scholarship like Chevening, Commonwealth, and the rest of these other scholarship? That is two. Three, can you be working, like part-time working, and also be doing your studies under this scholarship? Thank you. These are the questions.
Thank you. Who do I ask now? Shadrach, do you want to go first, please?
Sorry, can I get the first question?
All right, Chima, remind us the first question.
The first question is the period of application. Is it constant throughout the year, like March for this year is the deadline? Next year, is it still going to be around March? And then is it March throughout, like the deadline period of application? Thank you.
I'm not really sure about that because I think I applied for mine around Q4 2018. That is the last quarter of 2018. And I'm Q4, Q3. So I'm not sure I'm not sure if it's constant like March. Okay, I know it was Q3, Q4 2018 now. Yeah.
All right, great. I think the second question had to do with what makes the scholarship unique compared to others. What's the differentiating factor?
Well, there are a host of scholarship. In this time, not even in so many scholarships flying in, actually. So that question is really broad. If you're asking with respect to a particular scholarship, yeah, maybe I would have been able to tailor the answer more stringently. However, PTDF is a largely benevolent scholarship, I can assure you, even though I did not win the OSS one, right? The LSS one, yeah, it was quite some cash, to be honest with you. Yeah. Yeah, so because they take care, it's a fully funded. And I have friends that they got the OSS one. In fact, my friend, both of us that were interviewed for the OSS one, he went to France. Currently, he's in Chicago now in the US. So before the scholarship erupted, before he was done with his course, he applied for PhD in Chicago and he got it. So he's currently in Chicago now. So, but while he was in France for his master's, he was enjoying life. He was living the life. He was telling me that when we were chatting, WhatsApp, like, see, he was sharing that I eat chicken anytime I want to eat chicken. So even my friend also, which is like my academic mentor, he wanted to work for the US PhD. He told me that, see, these PTDF guys, they are good. Like, it's largely generous, I tell you. It's fully funded, fully funded. Yeah.
Take note, fully funded. They've stressed it. Esther also that coming from the audience as well. So we'll be going straight to the SOP. At this point, I think this will be very much handled by Esther, and Shadrach can be able to like put in one or two suggestions as well. So Esther, could you just talk around the SOP, how it tallies around the application, and then what to do to stand out? The floor is yours.
Okay, so I think for me, the SOP should basically talk about what you've identified in the oil and gas system, and areas for improvements, and how your course, you're going to choose, you're choosing three, you are given the opportunity to choose 3 courses and 3 schools in the UK or any other country. So you have to talk about those 3 courses. I don't know, for me, I talked about those 3 courses, what my learning outcome would be in those courses, how a particular module will help me understand this part of this problem, and how I can bring that back home to solve it. So the first part of my SOP, I talked about the problems and the proposed solution I have identified and the solutions. And in the latter part of it, I talked about my academic background. So when you're talking about this problem, also make sure that you are also a strong candidate. So I don't mind sharing screenshot of my SOP, like my SOP, sharing my screen.
You want to share it now, please? I will gladly stop sharing. Please go ahead.
So let me just you've disabled me.
Oh, okay. I'm going to enable you in a jiffy. Check if you can.
Okay. Yes, I can now. Thank
All right.
you.
Okay. Can you?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great.
Really? Thank you for my SOP. Just a moment.
No problem. So please, if you have any question, guys, before we round up for today, please feel free to drop it on the group chat. You can also raise your hands. As a reminder, you are welcome to follow our social media pages. YouTube is readily available for you to find out more about other scholarships we talk around with other panelists. We also have our social media pages on LinkedIn, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just to keep you updated with the latest scholarships available and tips on how to be able to clinch them. Please make good use of this opportunity now. Thank you so much.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Patroness.
So yeah, that's true. You can actually like click on the links now. While we're waiting for Esther, you used to be trying to share your own screen on your phone. Share it with one social media app. Follow, like, and then feel free to comment also. Okay, thank you, Esther.
Yes,
we can see you.
You can see my yeah. So like I said you start with general overview. I said as more countries worldwide see towards green and carbon finance, I'm afraid that Nigerian energy sector is yet to adopt the concept of energy finance. So if you are studying, let's say, maybe chemical engineering and you want to link it, so you talk about what's happening globally, what is happening globally, what is happening in Nigeria, what is happening in our oil and gas sector, where you think there's a lapse or lapses, and why you think your particular course might provide you with information or knowledge on how to solve it. So that's just basically everything I did about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing. So at this point, guys, you've already heard from them. If you have any questions, Esther, I think, yeah, it's good you showed them already.
Yeah.
So maybe we can just.
I can stop sharing, right?
You can stop. Please stop. For those of you that are thinking you have seen the perfect SOP, God is watching you from upstairs. So kindly note that plagiarism is being taken into note while you are trying to draft your SOP. So do well to use it as perhaps a standard, not like standard, but something to just give you a guideline on how to structure your SOP. Do not replicate what someone else has done. She has gotten it. If you replicate, it's you that will suffer. Thank God, with the whole ChatGPT now, they're even more or less very stringent around replicating other work. So please just take insight from this and do well to develop yours. If anyone has questions, please feel free before we round off for tonight.
Yeah, so Shadrach has not shed his light on his SOP journey, so.
Okay, Shadrach, they have dragged you by the edges. So it probably does give you an insight. Maybe tell us more. She has shared her own.
Okay.
Not like share your SOP, like just share.
Okay. Basically, thank you for calling the whole plagiarism thing out. I think it's very important. Yeah. So please, I think it's all about the structure of your SOP. Tailoring it to PTDF's mandate, okay? And there's one very key acronym that helps with SOPs. I'm sure some of you already know it. You can use I like using the CAR approach. You know, that is C for context or circumstance, A for action, then R for results. What it simply means is that you give like a context to why you're applying, or like a circumstances. Create a story, essentially, then the action that you're trying to drive like is to tackle that circumstance and the results of that action, how it's going to be beneficial to Nigeria, you know, coming back home to give back the knowledge. So just tailor your SOP in that light. And then with respect to the PTDF mandate, you'll be good. And you can have, now that we even have tools to help us like Grammarly. I don't know if anybody knows that. Your Grammarly is also very good. I did not use Grammarly. I think I really applied it itself. So in my own case, nobody even reviewed mine. I think maybe God's grace was also very, very, much better there for me.
Yeah.
Because nobody reviewed my SOP.
Like, I wrote my SOP in 1 hour and submitted because I had to submit very late.
Yeah. Nobody reviewed my SOP. I just wrote it and submitted. So, but now you have more chance to clinch it. You have Grammarly there for you. ChatGPT is now here for us all. So you can please take advantage of these tools and go get that scholarship.
Okay, please don't write your SOP in 1 hour and submit. Anyone here? Some people, their grace, their anointing is different from others. Let me not say how many hours I use for mine. But yeah, basically, you've all heard it. You've been given insights on how to structure your SOP, what the content should be like, and then how the motivation should drive whatever you're sharing. I would just like to add something to it. Ensure that there's heart being attached to it, that as much as you are choosing the course, you see the course also choosing you, because that shows how much impact you intend to make out of it. You don't want to start a program and then you will not start crying in the middle of it. I don't want somebody to tell me I'm in the UK and the scholarship is there, the money is there, but I cannot finish my program because it's frustrating. So look for something that you feel like you're very much passionate about, you're motivated to doing it, and then how it tallies around making impact even back in the country. So in that regard, I think we still have some questions that are coming in. One question is saying, how long does it usually take before one is invited for the physical interview from the period of application?
I think a period of 5 months for me.
5 months?
Yeah.
Wow.
I submitted in January and I was called for the interview in May.
Yeah.
End of May. Yeah.
Was this similar to you? Shadrach, accounting?
Yeah, I'll try to. I think I applied like October. I think it's same. Yeah, 5 to 6 months actually.
Okay. Yeah, I think that actually makes sense, because with the amount of applications coming in and trying to review everything, 5 months seems practical. So yes, Daniel, it takes 5 months. Hamid is asking if the scholarship is specific to any course. Hamid, I'll take this up. Today I'm a scholar, I'm a PTDF awardee. You don't have to be okay, let me go this way. I think whatever course you're applying is open to courses, and you just have to find a way to connect the dots between the course you're applying and how it relates to the oil and gas. Do you think that studying medicine is actually important? Okay, that's true. Mark even asked it. Can medical students apply for PTDF? if I'm to ask or if I'm to answer it, I think, yes, there's a high chance that medical students are very much needed, owing to the fact that the oil and gas space has a lot of gaps that needs to be filled when it comes to the medical state of both the colleagues, both the community, and even the continent as a whole. So there are identified gaps that one needs to take into consideration, looking at it from the health, safety, and environment. How does it apply? If you think you can study in English can also be very helpful. I don't want to give you expo, but in case you're going to go and do development in a region that, I'm not saying anything, sure. Maybe you want to go and be teaching English in that region for those communities that don't have schools. You can tell them, oh, if you give me this oil and gas scholarship, I will help to be carrying social trainings for English. It's not me that say don't complete your application, but the whole goal is do well to try to see how you can relate the course you're doing to the oil and gas space and how it applies. Esther has given us one secret. She says, once you have gotten the scholarship, my guy, my dear, just change school. You can change for another school, look for another. You want to study drama and arts, can be going to Beyonce's concert anywhere in the world, no problem. But just make sure you cling on the scholarship. So I think at this point, I would like to draw the curtain because it's been over an hour we've been on this call. This is one of my most interesting scholarship hacks I've ever hosted. Thanks to the panelists and to everyone that actually had been a part and parcel of it. I think I was trying to be very much fluid with this session and you guys made it magical. So thank you so much. So before we round up, I just want to get your end of your remarks from our panelists. Just in a few words, what would you like to say to encourage applicants that are actually going in for the scholarship? So, Shadrach, let me start with you.
Well, I think the first thing is, personally for me, I think it's God over everything. You know, it's not really how, I think the battle is not for the strong, the race is not for the swift, really. I think it's just God, because I told you earlier, I didn't make the first class, that I really wanted to, but I couldn't make it. But I think God has blessed me with other things that even some first classers don't have. So I think if you have a goal in your heart, you can just pen it down and then think about it, ruminate over it, work towards it, and with God on your side. I mean, these things are not rocket science. If I can get them, you can get them. Yeah, just leverage on your inner strength and let God lead.
Thank you so much, Shadrach. And Esther?
Oh, just God. Just God. Because like Shadrach, I thought I had 0% of any scholarship coming from a business background, some oil and gas background. So just God, grace, pray for grace, and also be you. Be you. Just don't lie about anything. Those little achievements you've achieved, portray it, be proud of it, tell them to their face, like, yeah, you worked for it. You will see how grace of God and your hard work would make you stand out.
Thank you so much, Esther. So I think those are very useful and important words at this point that we need. Please, for everyone, this session is specially dedicated to you, or make the best out of it. We have put it in this very format just to make sure that everyone is part and parcel of it, and you also have the opportunity to pick whatever salient nuggets you've been able to get from the session. I want to use the opportunity to appreciate our panelists for making it a thing of joy to be here with us, for them to be able to share their insights, share their experience, even share valuable, insights and resources based on this PTDF scholarship. At the same time, I want to also say a big thank you to every one of you that had joined this meeting today. For those that joined and left at some point, I presume it's network. You can follow up on YouTube. For those of you that have stayed till the end, you guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so much. And lastly, to the FON team working behind the curtains, most especially to Chisom, I want to say a big thank you. Chisom has been very much instrumental to getting these wonderful people here with us and also responding to all of your questions, sharing the social media links. Chisom, God will bless you. So in that regards, I want to say thank you to all of you. And please do well to follow all the social media pages. And I look forward to the next scholarship hub with you all. Hopefully one of you will be my guest. Do have a lovely evening. And thanks once again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right then. Yeah. Please feel free to follow them on LinkedIn in case they will accept you. They are not snobs. But I hope it's fine for them to reach out to you also.
It's fine.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'll be ending the record now. I hope you all have a great night. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Chisom.